hilarious thing. I was reading. I was reading this this article because of okay. So there's these two people that just so happen to work at the same company, right? They were coworkers. So let me read this article. I'm gonna try to link it down below, but this is freaking hilarious. Okay. Hope y'all's Friday is going great. Okay. All right. So it's a man and a woman, and they were coworkers, right? So last year, I had an experience that was awful, but also amazing. I was basically forced to hug somebody I strongly disliked. And then there was an explosion. Not a physical explosion, like shrapnel, whatever, and so on. More of an explosion of strong emotions and sensations in my body. I literally almost fell over from what I was feeling and how confused I was by it. I felt like I went through a Star Trek transporter. Yes, Daddy, please.
But it sounded real good.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
And
did.
you're supposed to say, excuse me. Cochino. I'm not gonna give you the phone back. It felt like I went through a Star Trek transporter. Yes, I'm a nerd and got my molecules rearranged in crazy ways, especially my heart molecules. All this happened from a hug? Well, actually, yes. At least it started that way. Here's what happened. This girl D at work is a work colleague who I'd only said hi to once or twice. We work at a bigger firm where it was possible to stay away from her, and she'd annoy me for no specific reason, but just kind of her overall vibe. I thought she seemed arrogant. She rarely smiled, and she'd once told a colleague an opinion about something that pissed me off and struck me as vain. I forgot what exactly was it was something about social media, but I remember rolling my eyes and avoiding her gaze the next time she walked by my desk. This girl is a fake loser, I decided. Fuck her. Hey, I didn't really think of her more and stuck to my job. In my personal life, I was going out on casual dates sometimes, but it basically bored romantically. Then D got sick, and apparently it was pretty serious. At my work colleagues spoke about her and how she might not recover. They said it was an issue she'd had since she was an adolescent that had flared up. I admit feeling a pang of guilt for judging her so harshly, based on basically nothing, but pushed it down and got back to work. D returns. Then one day, Dee came back to work. When she walked in, people clapped, and she was being supported by her friend Angela, who was helping her walk. She looked a little worse for wear, but she forced a smile. I didn't quite get what had happened with her health or how serious it had been, but I guess that it was her personal medical information, not my business. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at something else. I admitted to myself it was a good she was okay, but I still felt awkward and uncomfortable. I looked away, but then people started hugging her, telling her how glad they were she was back. My boss gave her a bouquet of flowers and she looked embarrassed. Then my boss motioned to me to hug her. Come on, man, what are you doing? He whispered as he observed my reluctantness. So I went in for a hug. Dee looked like a deer in headlights as I approached. I think she'd sense I didn't like her. The first thing I noticed was that her eyes were actually really beautiful and so intense. The next thing I noticed, the explosion. An intense spiritual warmth. I felt somehow warm inside my soul when Dee hugged me. I know that sounds so corny and I hate myself for writing that, but it's true. I felt warm all over, both physically and spiritually. I felt like the morning sun was coming over the mountains and basking over me in perfect warmth and radiance. It was so intense. I wondered if Dee could feel it too. Seriously, I wondered what the hell was going on. But it felt so good that I
My goggles.
shut up, be quiet. But it felt so good that I held that hug a few seconds longer than I know was appropriate. I had to pry myself away. He hated her. That is like this freaking story just made me laugh so freaking hard. He's like, she said, I don't like her. I hate her. You know, he's been avoiding her, and then he had to fuck her. That was a funny ass story. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. So, anyways, they were like soulmates or something. All right, I gotta go back. Okay, you ready?